You ever think about the stores and restaurants that used to be everywhere, and then one day they just vanished? Today, we're diving into three Ohio favorites that used to be a big deal: Zayer, Gold Circle, and Parassons, places people grew up with. And now, they're basically memories. Let's start with Zayer. Zayer was one of those classic discount department stores. If you grew up in the 70s or 80s, this was the place to go for cheap clothes, toys, and random stuff your parents probably didn't need. It started way back in the 50s and spread all across the eastern U.S., including Ohio. But here's the crazy part. Zayer didn't exactly fail overnight. Instead, the company sold off its stores in the late 80s to Ames. And eventually, the Zayer name just disappeared completely by 1990. Now let's talk about Gold Circle. This one hits especially close to home in Ohio. Gold Circle was a discount store chain that started in Columbus in the late 60s. Think of it like an early version of Walmart. Clothes, electronics, toys, everything under one roof. For a while it was booming. But by the late 80s, things started falling apart. After a corporate buyout, the company decided to shut it all down and liquidate every store in 1988. And just like that, gone. Some locations turned into places like Hills, Kmart, or even Target later on. So if you've ever walked into one of those stores, there's a chance you were actually standing where a Gold Circle used to be. Now this one's a little different, because it wasn't a big retail chain. Parassons was a local Italian restaurant chain around Akron, family-owned, old school. The kind of place people went to after games, family dinners, or just because. It dates all the way back to around the 60s and became a staple in the area for decades. Pizza, pasta, subs, the simple stuff. But people loved it. Over time, though, locations started closing. Some shut down permanently, others scaled back, and the chain slowly faded from what it once was. And that's how it goes sometimes. Not with a big dramatic ending, just fewer and fewer locations, until it's mostly memories. And that's the thing about places like these. They weren't just stores or restaurants. They were part of people's routines, childhoods, lives. Zayer, Gold Circle, Parassons gone, but not really forgotten. If you remember any of these, or if your parents ever talked about them, drop it in the comments. Because sometimes the creepiest thing isn't a ghost. It's how something that was everywhere can just disappear.